Yo, what's going on, everybody? Snaps back at it here in Nashville. Day 3, SEC Media Days. A little worse for wear today.
Oh my God. The boys had a good time last night.
We had a very good time.
In case you didn't know.
I guess I got to remember, I have this mic on, so I actually don't have to stress my voice. I don't have to talk that loud.
Yeah.
It was very fun. Even maybe a little later than I thought, a little deeper in our cups than I thought. But, when you go honky-tonkin',
Hey, you got moves. I kind of thought you would have moves just because of your personality.
Yeah.
But you got some moves, big guy.
I love
you're nimble on your feet.
Yeah, I love it. Nimble.
Yeah.
I liked watching you dance on stage.
Thank you.
It was maybe the most Caucasian.
No.
Bro, I don't know. Maybe we can edit it.
You were literally doing a square dance.
Well,
That is as Caucasian as it could possibly get.
I was honky-tonkin'.
Yeah, which is as white as it can get. So don't tell me I'm as white as it can get when you're doing a honky-tonk.
I'm just saying the caucasity of your moves was readily apparent for everyone to see. Check the tape. Go ahead and
Hey,
we're spreading this afterwards. They just need to post the dancing right now, and then we can let the people decide. Very fun night. Nashville continues to be a cool city. But today you could almost feel it in the air, and there was a certain smell. And it wasn't just the Alabama guy with the yellow hammer and the luchador mask. It was Nick Saban Day today here at SEC Media Days. I know you got to sit down with Coach Saban for a while. We'll break that down. We'll touch on Florida. They haven't been up to the podium yet as of the time of this recording. KJ Jefferson in Arkansas here today. Interested to speak on kind of where you would rank KJ in this league. Like Kentucky, a team that's at a bit of a crossroads. I also want to touch on Brent Venables' comments.
Yep.
Towards Prime, and it's like UGA might have won their battle with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Get you fired up. Also, if you have not seen it, go check out Aaron's video last night at the bar where there's a full band wearing Georgia jerseys, including someone wearing a number 11 jersey, so an Aaron Murray jersey. And Aaron gets on stage, and the dude asks, "What's your name, boss?" and then they finally figured it out. It was excellent. That girl knew. She was fired up.
She was fired up.
She was the actual Georgia fan.
He was not a Georgia fan. She brought the gear for everyone, so I don't.
Just a fantastic.
It was well played though. I do appreciate T-Bob and the crew kind of.
Oh yeah, I forced you down there,
encouraging me onto the stage because I did not want to go on there, but you guys kind of pushed your boy on there, and it worked out nicely.
Yeah, I had to break away and do some recon, and then we knew. Anyway, all right. Let's talk Nick Saban in Alabama. This is the first time in a long time where Alabama is not clearly the top dog coming in the SEC. I think you described it, Aaron, as being, the hunter, not the hunted.
Yep.
It's the first time they've ever had to look at someone else's bag coming into the season. What was the vibe? Because you got to sit down with Nick on series for a while. What was the vibe that Saban was giving off today?
Oh, we asked him that, and he likes it, man. He said the team loves it too. Like, there's a sense of we're fighting for something. Because he used the word that you love to use when we talk about Georgia.
Okay, yeah.
He used the word complacency. Of yes, at times over the past 5 years, there has been at times a sense of entitlement, complacency with his football team, he felt like, and he doesn't feel like that this year. For a number of factors. One, there's not really a superstar on the team.
Yeah.
It is more of a team for Alabama this year. It's not Bryce Young and company. It's not Will Anderson the defense. This is the offense. This is the defense, and we're hunting Georgia. We're hunting LSU. We're hunting Ohio State and Michigan. I think that there is a sense of excitement of people doubt us because of the lack of, say, superstar power on the team.
Yep. Especially coming on the last year.
Yeah.
Well, it's really hard to get away from. You're telling me that Alabama's going to be better after losing Bryce Young and Will Anderson.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to imagine. Hey, look at the games last year. I mean, how many times has over the past 2 years has Bryce had to essentially bail that team out? 2 years ago versus Auburn, had to bail him out that last day drive.
Yep.
Last year versus Texas, had to bail him out down the field.
A&M,
A&M. I think it just seems like if you didn't have Bryce, what would this team have been? So that is a legitimate question right now. You don't have Superman and his cape to save you when shit hits the fan. So who's going to step up? Are the receivers going to be better? I don't know. What's the running back room going to look like? What's the offensive line going to look like? That's a position group that's been challenged. I do feel like the defense as a whole could be really good this year. They're going to be one of the top defenses in this league. But
they're probably, second to Georgia? Or would you? Well,
I still like LSU.
I don't know if I can put LSU because of the lack of a great pass rusher, but we'll see.
We'll see. But there's a lot of unknown, and you could just see that glimmer in Saban's his eye of there wasn't like a sense of worry to me. Like talking to him about the quarterback position and talking about replacing Will and this, there was never a sense of doubt or worry. It was more to me, there's excitement. And that was also part of the conversation with him of what does get you excited nowadays? Because you have accomplished so much.
Yeah.
The game has changed so much.
Yeah.
Is it even fun for you anymore?
No, he probably need, like Kirby Smart probably gives him a little bit of life.
Yeah.
And Georgia does. Having this challenger rise and kind of take over and basically surpass him. Like, it's been a long time since he's had a real rival like that. So that can give you juice. It's like a bad.
Well, and Brian Kelly too should give him juice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Close to equals. He gets to compete with guys that are they're not the go.
Yeah.
What I wouldn't say LSU's coaches. You've said it. LSU coaches have been nowhere near Nick Saban. Brian Kelly is that next tier down.
Yes.
Kirby Smart is
right
for career-wise that next tier down, but probably the best in the game right now.
Brian Kelly's the best coach ever without a national championship. I mean, he's
100%
his coach in college football right now. I mean, if you look at just and he won everywhere he's been, every level he's ever been at. So, I agree. Here's what I found interesting about Saban is he talked about how last year he said, I don't think I did a very good job at getting the most out of that team, and I'd say that's probably correct. But then he talked about how he felt like they made the expectations too big.
Yep.
And that guys mentally were under too much pressure, pushing too hard, and it led to mistakes. And one reason why I find that interesting is because Alabama, for years now, I mean, even when I was fighting, they were way ahead of the curve where they were doing like special forces military training, essentially mental training to prepare for the moment, to not be overwhelmed by the moment, to not let the outside pressure of the moment, to just do what you've been trained to do. And so I wonder, like, I guess it's impossible to figure out, but something happened last year where mentally they put those guys under too much pressure.
Well,
and this year, that's removed. They're not under that much pressure this year. I mean, they did the regular amount, but not like last year's team felt like we have to win a national championship or we are failures.
I think since he was talking to New Highs and myself, he knew we liked golf. He broke it down like this for us. Because Nick he's a golfer. He enjoys to play golf and he has some off time. He said, my always goal was to break 80, like to get in the 70s. So he said, but then this summer, he's like, I shot a 73.
What?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, damn, good for you. I know, Nick Saban shooting a 73. That's pretty damn good. He said, then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, I shot a 79 and I'm pissed off. Because expectations, I was saying, it's like, what the hell? Like, I always just wanted to be here. But then as soon as I touched this 73, I always thought then, like, now all of a sudden the bar got moved up. So then if I shoot a 79, it's like, what the hell? Same thing with Alabama. It's like, winning 10, 11 games, it's a hell of a season. But that, unfortunately for Alabama, the expectations are to shoot par. The expectations are to win a national championship. And if you don't get that, then all of a sudden it's a failure where you should be looking at it as that was a hell of a year last year. They won that many games, and their 2 losses were by a combined, 3 points? Or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Less than 5?
I mean, it was the last play of the game.
Both times.
A field goal.
That is a hell of a season.
Shout out Balls, Rocky Top.
Yep.
And no, hey, don't look at me like that, Ali. I was, trust me when I say, I wanted Tennessee to win that game so badly, but the kick was fucking gross. It was just knuckleball submarine somehow found a way to go in. And then LSU.
But are you do you believe the narrative of watch out this year because everyone's doubting him? Like he can't be that. I think it's silly to think that. I think that's so silly to say.
So I think there is something. I think there's something there. There's something about suddenly not having to deal with like rat poison, but actually having like real motivation through doubt. I think that's a real thing. I think you talk to any athletes. Now, how do you quantify it? Am I ever going to be able to say like, oh, they made this play because we doubted them? Like, no, no shit like that. But I mean, when you talk to the players, they said like, yeah, it's like when we're in the weight room, we're in practice field, like saw a Kool-Aid quote earlier where somehow it just makes you go that much harder. Like you just like push yourself a little further. And I think there's value there, but
does the brand scare you though? Like to me, like why has Alabama been so good? Obviously, elite coaching, elite talent, but when Alabama has walked onto the field over the past 15 years,
yeah,
there has been a sense of we're better than you, we're stronger, we're faster, we're more talented, we're better coach. There's a fear factor.
Yes.
Like teams were legitimately scared of Alabama. I don't know if they have that fear factor anymore.
They don't. I mean,
like, does Alabama scare anyone anymore?
Well, I think they do. I think they still scare the average team.
Yeah, right.
But they're definitely not. There were times where they felt invulnerable.
Yeah.
Like when they had the kind of joyless murder ball era.
Yeah.
And they were just smashing everyone constantly. I mean, there was. I wish I could remember the exact stat. It was some random we read during last football season, but it's something to the tune of, if you look at all of the like one-score games that Nick Saban's had in his tenure at Alabama, it's nearly like half of them have come in the last 2 years alone.
Yeah.
So there has been a kind of they don't feel like Superman as much anymore. Right?
No.
They feel like a bit more approachable, a bit more human, and that kind of speaks to probably the main thing they need to get fixed, which is the offensive line or the domination of the trenches.
Yes.
Because when you think about the best Alabama teams, I always think about that Jonathan Allen defensive line.
Yep.
Where they were 3 deep of NFL guys. Like good, like it was just you could not play against that team because they were just, like you said, just faster, just stronger, bigger, more badass. They don't have that anymore. And especially we were talking to Wes Neighbors from Huntsville about the offensive line yesterday, and he's a former lineman. He thinks the technique is crap, and he's probably right because that's what they need to get fixed. They still have all 4 and 5 stars, but they do not push people around like they used to. When Derrick Henry won the Heisman, he averaged like 4.5 yards before contact.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was absurd. He averaged the bar that any running back would love to hit before contact. That is not the case anymore. They gave up a ton of TLS sacks 2 years ago. Last year, Bryce couldn't push people.
And without Bryce, I mean,
Texas kicked their ass.
The stats would have been completely different without Bryce and his magic. So I just go back to the point of, if you couldn't do it with Bryce Young, who has been the best quarterback that Alabama's ever had, and you couldn't do it with Will Anderson on defense, and plenty of talent too. Like Brian Branch was a dude at that nickel spot too, that safety spot. Like they had a ton of talent on defense last year. If you couldn't do it with that defense and that quarterback, what gives me any comments you could do this year?
I mean, I think about like Peyton Manning.
Like I don't think the defense, but I don't.
Tennessee back in the day.
The defense is not going to, like, the defense last year was great. Like Alabama's defense was really good last year.
Yeah.
Like I don't see the defense getting extraordinary better.
Well, but they could. I mean, they're always they improve. They give up explosive plays at times. I mean, they were getting shredded by LSU by the end of that game. Like,
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think like there's this like massive like step that, oh my God, Alabama could be.
But it doesn't need to be a massive step because, like,
but I think the offense knows. But I think they're but the offense is going to take a step back though. There's no way the offense is going to be better.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no way.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you have a defense last year that was really good, that could maybe marginally get better this year. I don't think they could get better, but I think they could be about the same, which is still a great defense. That's still a one of the best defenses in the country. You'll have that. But you're going to have an offense that's not going to be as explosive, that's not going to have a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. You're going to take a step back on that side. So, like, I think people are just afraid to say it. Alabama is not going to be a legitimate contender this year. They're just not. I know Nick Saban said it 2 years ago. What did he say? That year was the rebuilding year. Watch out for us this year, essentially. This is the rebuilding year.
Yeah.
Like, let's just be honest. Like, this is it wasn't 2 years ago. This is the year where Alabama has the elite class they just got. You build off that class and off previous classes. You figure out the quarterback spot, and you say 2024 is our year. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't get why that's a problem.
Well, I mean,
I know for Alabama Sanders it is. I know. But I think Alabama fans need to realize it. This is our rebuilding year. 2024 is more of our opportunity to go win a championship.
Okay, let's touch on the quarterbacks then, and then we'll move on from Alabama. Nick Saban using another analogy, a baking analogy, like baking a cake, right? And that right now you have 3 guys in the Milroe, Simpson, and Buckner that are competing for that job, and essentially the cake's in the oven. And nobody's separating themselves out, but he said he's not rushing that process, right? Because what happens if you pull a cake out too early? It's mush. It doesn't work, right? How concerned are you that there doesn't seem yet to be someone who has really separated? Like even yesterday, talking to Weston, it didn't seem like they were even talking about maybe some of the freshmen. Like it didn't seem. Yeah, I was surprised talking to Alabama like local radio hosts that there's not one of those kind of behind the scenes like this guy's.
I still think it's tied. I've talked to enough people to think it's tied too.
I think it's tied.
I think based on the conversation with Nick today, Coach Saban. Can I say Nick?
Yeah.
Sir Saban.
I am a believer that you can say that. I know guys like Hess don't like that, but yes.
But I say Kirby.
Yeah.
So okay, little Nicky. You hit on the quarterback spot too, and a lot of it was trust. A lot of it was decision making. A lot of it is getting the ball to the right player and taking care of the football. So to me, that was kind of a signal in my mind that Jalen Milroe is not going to be the guy. Like if I can't trust you to take care of the football on a team where we anticipate, like you just said, like how many one-score games has Alabama seen the past 2 years? More than Nick Saban has ever seen in his career at Alabama. I anticipate the same thing this year. What's the difference in one-score games? Turnovers and penalties. So I'm not going to trust a guy that has been known for turnovers. So to me, Jalen's out.
Well, okay, but do you think there's a world? I mean, I still feel like Jalen Milroe has a skill set, though.
Then you find a way to get him in.
Hill type package,
but that's not a starting quarterback. It's a package.
I agree. But it's like how Hugh Freeze talked about Robbie Ashford.
Yes.
Yesterday, where he said, I don't know if he's gonna be ready to play quarterback, but I do know that he could play a role in us winning.
100%. I think Jalen can get in there. My only concern with the quarterback spot for Alabama is too many cooks in the kitchen and not enough reps to go around.
Yeah.
You can barely prepare you can barely prepare 2 quarterbacks. And let's not forget, the second game of the season is Texas. This isn't like Michigan 2 years ago. This isn't like Ole Miss 2 years ago where you have 4 straight cupcake games where you can afford to rotate guys and give guys opportunities. Like
Michigan was just playing.
You need Ole Miss did the same thing. They had one quarterback, Luke Altmaier, start for 2 games, and then Jackson start the next 2 games. Like, if I'm Alabama, at some point you need to say, okay, we got to get this guy ready to play Texas week 2. So 3 quarterbacks is way too many. 2 quarterbacks.
Starter coming out of camp. They're not going to do. Yeah.
No, I get that, but you got to get the guy ready.
And so that process is that can tell you make maybe a little quicker than that. Okay, so I think the headline here is what you said. So you say Alabama not a contender in 2023. I
don't think so. I don't think they are. It's a rebuild. This is Alabama's. This is their rebuild year.
All right, other teams that were here today. Let's just touch on Kentucky. Maybe the most interesting transfer, like one of the most interesting transfer quarterback situations in the entire country when you're talking about Devin Leary.
Yep.
A guy who broke Philip Rivers' records at NC State, was putting up insanity numbers, video game numbers. And then last year, through a mixtures of injury and I don't exactly know, it just seemed like he took a bit of a step back. Actually, him and Kentucky both kind of appropriate for each other as they both fell woefully short of expectations last year. That was an NC State team that was picked by a lot of people to win the ACC.
Yep.
Devin Leary was supposed to be a potential Heisman candidate. None of that came to pass. Kentucky was supposed to have their best team ever, maybe win 10 games. That did not come to pass. You do get Liam Cohen back, which I think is big time. Where would you rank Devin Leary in the SEC quarterbacking hierarchy right now?
I mean, I would say mid-tier. I mean, let's not forget he's coming from a conference that's pretty crap. So, I mean, he's going to be a little bit eye-opening to face SEC defenses week in and week out. But I think he's a really good quarterback. And the one thing that Kentucky does return is really good playmakers. They went in the transfer portal. They got a good running back. They returned their top 3 receivers from last year that were all freshmen and sophomores. So the talent is there around him. The offensive line has to get more physical. I think that's the one area of concern for me. I think Devin Leary is going to be good. I think the receivers are going to be good. I think the running backs are going to be good. Offensive line must be the offensive line that they – well, how did Mark Stoops build this team? He built it with good interior play. Yeah. Offensive line play, defensive line play. They got to get back to that mode if they want to contend, and they can't fall behind too far right now when it comes to Tennessee. Like, Kentucky's not chasing Georgia. Kentucky's chasing we can't let Tennessee continue the momentum, and we got to make sure Florida kind of stays in the dumps.
Yeah, I mean, and South Carolina's coming at them.
And so, yeah, a little bit too, but I would still say their more immediate threats are Tennessee and because Florida can turn it around at any time.
That's true. That's definitely true in Florida. I mean, I feel like Tennessee's already passed them up. I don't think Tennessee's chasing Kentucky. Like, I think Tennessee is going to be better than Kentucky this year. You don't think it's you once called Joe Milton the most talented quarterback.
Yeah, but I still want to see him do it.
Okay.
I still want to see him do it. I want to see Tennessee prove that they have more depth on defense, that they can win games not just because of their offense, because their defense has the depth to hang.
See, I think Tennessee may need to do that to get to the next level, but I think Tennessee can be better at Kentucky without that.
Why?
It's got. I know last year I had a sucker Kentucky fan.
I think Tennessee wins the game this year.
You did watch Tennessee just rocket past them.
Yeah. But there's always the conversation of, was it just a flash in the pan for Tennessee?
Run.
Yeah, it's a magical run. Tennessee still needs to continue to put stack years on it for us to really fully say Tennessee's back.
Interesting. In my mind, I already have them slotted in second, and then I have Kentucky fighting with South Carolina, Florida.
I don't think Florida's fighting. Florida's not fighting for it.
For the third spot?
No. God, no. No,
don't they have the 50%? Aren't they in the blue ratio club? Like,
I don't think so.
I think they are. They're right on the edge of it if they're not.
They're close, but I don't think they are.
It seems crazy to me that Florida could be that bad again.
And let's not forget, Dan Mullen didn't. Why did Dan Mullen get fired? Because he didn't recruit top talent.
Yeah.
He didn't leave a team stacked with 4 and 5-star guys. Dan Mullen prided himself on being a great coach that could take 3-star guys and win football games.
That's true.
So Napier didn't inherit an elite roster. He's having to build that roster right now. So I don't think Florida's there.
Kentucky's better than Florida this year.
I think Kentucky's better. I mean, how I would rank it is Georgia. I would still put Tennessee at 2. I'm just saying Kentucky is not. Tennessee is not untouchable to Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky can win that football game. I'd put Kentucky at 3. I'd put South Carolina at 4.
Kentucky just doesn't feel threatening in any way is the problem. Like a couple of years ago when they had a 10-win season, I think it was them and Josh Allen. They had that great edge rush.
Well, you don't believe in Stoops. I like Stoops.
Well, you're right. You're right. I think that when you're talking about Kentucky, I think they're trying to win in a traditional power football way, or they have at times, and they just don't have the dogs for that. Whereas Tennessee, because of Heupel's system, can win a bit more with scheme, which allows you to it allows athletes to overproduce. Like you can overproduce your talent. Whereas Kentucky's success.
Well, it's 2 different mindsets.
Even though I should say, Liam Cohen's a great OC.
Yeah.
With him back, that does actually change a bit.
But so Tennessee tries to beat you by just outscoring you, which sounds absolutely stupid because, of course, that's how you try to win football games. You outscore the opponent. I get that. But in the sense of, we're going to go up tempo and we're going to try to score 50 points. Kentucky is the opposite. They try to win games by trying to keep it as low scoring as possible.
Yeah.
They try to shorten the game up where they're hoping in the fourth quarter it's 20-14. It's legitimately old school type football where Tennessee, hey man, let's go. Let's have a shootout. Let's see who can score 50 points first.
Yeah.
So it's just it's 2 different mindsets. It's whatever flavor of ice cream you like, essentially. But I love Mark Stoops as a coach. I think Mark Stoops is a hell of a football coach. Don't sleep on Kentucky this year. That's all I'm saying. Do not sleep on Kentucky.
Okay. That's a great line because you picked them to finish 3rd, but now with don't sleep on Kentucky, you can be like, I told you so, and then you're good. I mean, hey, Who told you not to sleep on Kentucky? I also would like to say don't sleep with Kentucky this year, but I think they suck. But don't sleep on them.
But I'm not saying they suck. You see, you're saying they suck. But watch out. I'm saying they're third, but can contend with Tennessee to be 2.
Okay, wait.
Which is not like a massive jump.
Alabama, Kentucky, Florida. We just kind of hit on there.
Yeah,
a little bit. What do you?
There's no expectations this year too. It's a big build for your boy. Plain and simple. It's a rebuild.
You can't go. I mean, I guess you win the Vanderbilt game. You're 6-6. Like they got to find a couple more wins there at the edge. He's at least got to be like 7-5 or something.
I don't think so. I think with his contract, his buyout, I think people understand what he was left with from Dan Mullen when it comes to talent on the roster. He has the true Florida fan, not the wild, erratic Florida fan, understands it's at least 4 years before you see a more competitive football team.
Okay. What is Florida's even like strength nowadays?
They got 2 good running backs. I mean, Graham Mertz,
and last year,
can he channel what he did at Wisconsin his first couple starts and kind of get that rebirth like we just talked about with Kentucky? I don't know, because I don't believe in the talent at receiver necessarily. It's going to be a team that's going to have to run the ball and have success, like what they did last year. But you have a good, not great defense. They're an average team this year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they just feel completely bland.
They are bare.
Like at least when they had Anthony Richardson, he was threatening. Obviously, in the Urban Meyer era, they were at the forefront of the RPO game and offensive theory. There's been times when they've had a defense that's as dominant as anybody's in the country, and they just don't feel like they have any of that right now. Bad time to be a Gator.
Yeah.
And then what about Arkansas coming out of the West? KJ Jefferson. Where would you rank KJ Jefferson in your SEC quarterbacking?
Oh, he's top 3 or 4 for me. I love KJ. I love the size. I love the athleticism. The big thing with KJ, and we talked about, I mean, he is staying healthy. KJ's got to stay healthy. I talked to him in the spring. I talked to him today about that. And, he's changed his diet up. He's changed the way that he's training in preparation for the season. I mean, look
how much of it is what they asked him to do?
Well, I think that's too. I mean, the coaching staff told me this in the spring. They have to protect him better.
Yeah.
And it's not like they said, like, listen, there's going to be games where he's going to have to run the ball 15, 20 times. But we're going to want as much as we can stay out of that world. So, they return a 1,400-yard rusher and Rocket. The offensive line has to be better. I mean, that's Sam Pittman's baby right there. The offensive line has to be better.
Yes, sir.
Bo Limmer is going to be the center. He feels confident that Bo and some of the pieces they brought in should improve on that side of the football. I think the offense will be fine. I think the receivers they're going to have to figure out the receiving position, but they like this freshman tight end they got. They love their running back. They love their quarterback. Defense is the concern. Defense was atrocious last year. Big play after big play after big play. New defensive coordinator. They go from a 3-down to a 4-down. So you're like, oh, great, 4 down, we're going to stop the run. I don't know if they have the personnel right now.
Also,
I don't know if they have enough big guys.
I don't know if I'd worry
to
about
rotate
the run when they were the worst pass defense in the country.
Yeah, they were.
Last year, they came up like 350.
They were banged up at D-back. They were banged up in the secondary. They were banged up. I think structurally, I prefer a 4-down front a little bit more in the way that you run the defense.
No, I always have.
I mean, the way they ran their defense last year with that 3-2-6 essentially with 6 DBs, it was very passive. The DBs would sit at 12 yards like a 3 safeties, and they would kind of just sit there.
You can have 6 DBs in the game and have be the worst.
Well, I'm trying to explain it.
No. I know. I'm
trying to explain it.
I'm just pointing out for the audience. I want them to really bask in the absurdity of having 6 DBs on the field
And being that bad.
Worst pass defense.
Because the safeties would literally sit at 12 yards, thinking the receivers wouldn't run by them, and then the receivers would just run by them. I'm like, yeah. I mean, they would. Watch it. They would sit at 12 yards and just be like, oh, the structure of our defense invites a team to run the football, which it should. So we're just going to sit here and anticipate to be downhill to stop the run, and they would just stand there, and then the receivers would just run right by him. I'm like, what are you doing? Get out of your back pedal and get the fuck back. I mean, it was mind-blowing to me how pissed poor their safety play was last year.
Where do they finish in the West? LSU, Alabama, 1-2.
Yeah, LSU, Alabama 1-2.
Who do you have at 3?
I still like A&M.
I do too.
I think they're somewhere in that 4 or 5 range with Ole Miss.
So okay, let's say them and Ole Miss feel like the team that should be finishing there next.
Yes.
And again, I still don't know what to make of Mississippi State. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they know. I don't know. Dude, Will Rogers said he'd only taken 1 under center snap in his entire life, or entire high school, college playing football. He doesn't know, Aaron, the joys
of touching
a 300-pound man nutsack, that warmth that brings to the back of your knuckles. He has no idea.
Should we do a naked center quarterback exchange?
That's our only snaps. That's for only snaps. Subscribe now. If everything goes awry here at the volume, we still will always have only snaps in the background. Do not worry. And I'm getting older and saggier too. They just be kind of like they just be resting.
Yeah, I gotta spread my hands out a little bit so they can just droop and droop.
This gift just be going in between all your knuckles
like little marbles. I used to have these weighted balls. That I would do for hand strength, and I would kind of just massage them around my hand. That's what I have to do with T-Bob when I look it under center. I have to massage them around my hands.
Okay, so that's the FC Media Days talk. Real quick, I did want to call out Brent Venables on something.
Yeah.
Brent Venables is out here going after Deion, saying, I'm not like Deion. I gave our guy 12 months of grace. I didn't just hand him pink slips, yada, yada. Britt, you fucking idiot. Of course you didn't. You took over a team full of 4 and 5 stars.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
There was a playoff team for multiple years before you got there.
What an unnecessary shot. Like Prime took over a junior high team. Do you remember what it looked like? That first meeting video that came out? We were cracking up. It didn't even look like there's no way it's a D1 college football team. Like, for Brent Venables to act, see, every time I want to get in the Venables camp, he does something like this, and I'm like, he doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. What
you had aired a roster that had been to multiple playoff games, multiple play games in the past 5 years, and Deion inherited a team that is just
1-11.
1-11.
And you went 6-7 with that team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't start.
I bet you Deion's going to go better than 1-11. You got markedly worse. He's going to get markedly better. So I mean, I don't even have anything to expound on. Again, some of these quotes of Venables, man, I just don't. Oh, he feels. Actually, when I was on with Colin last night, check that out. Sat down with Papa Colin, the boss man, on his pod, and he described Venables as being over his skis. And that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a bit out of his depth, maybe.
Yeah.
But
we'll look like it.
And then, Aaron, your dogs, they had a tiff with the AJC recently, where there was a report that they did not feel was accurately reported.
Yep.
And in a pretty unprecedented move, I've never seen anything like it. They had their lawyer draw up a list of corrections that they want to make. They send it to the AJC. The AJC editorial board reviews it, and they retracted. They retracted a lot of the points, and they actually fired the investigative reporter who put it out there.
Hey, man, you better watch out. False reporting the Georgia Bulldogs back-to-back national champs. I'm not going to go out here and say that these kids should be invincible. I'm not trying to say that Kirby should be invincible. I'm not trying to say that these reporters can't do their job. But just don't try to catch headlines, man. Like, these are still 18 and 22-year-old kids. Like, just remember, you and I fucked up a lot when we were 18 and 22-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, these reporters probably fucked up a lot when they were 18 and 22-year-olds too. So don't act like you were some high and mighty guy. Well, trying to call kids and I'm not trying to say give grace.
Headlines
if it can,
going to happen.
Headlines are going to happen, but the reporting was awful.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But the
reporting was awful.
Like, you don't need to go out of your way to shit on people just because you have some sort of bone to grind with them.
And I don't know if it's a bone to grind.
If a kid gets in trouble, yeah, well, but even, okay, maybe not even an axe to grind, but it's like
trying to really trying to do storytelling and make your article as sexy as possible with fabrications.
Yeah. It's just, look, right now with Georgia, they're kind of not that interesting because they're too good.
Yeah.
And so if you're trying to create, like, you got to be careful because the instinct is to try to create some sort of interest, and that's how you end up
Yeah,
doing something like that.
getting fucking canned after 25 years working with the AJC.
He was there 25 years? I figured he was just some, I looked at it was out and figured it was some young guy.
Junior? No.
Yeah.
And
25 years? Georgia. He smart and got his head chopped off.
Yeah.
Fuck me, dude.
Hey man, it tells you you're one of those states. Yeah, you better not miss if you're gonna go swing at the king. Georgia players still have to be better though, man. Like they gotta clean it up. There's no doubt about it. Like you gotta be better on and off the field. You gotta learn some lessons. It's a learning moment for everyone.
Yeah, bro.
I think it's a learning moment for media too. Like we're all chasing somewhat headlines. We're all trying to be, get the clicks. But you can't fabricate, especially when it affects a kid like that.
Title this episode, Alabama. It is not a contender in 2023.
Probably.
And that's because that's the game. So you have to,
But it's not affecting a kid's life.
No. And we're not reporters. So I have to be painfully clear about that. All right. That'll do it. Day 3 of snaps. I don't even know what you have and haven't seen yet. I hope you enjoyed the first 2. Do we have the first 2?
We have the second one.
Okay. We're not on 4K again, are we?
Oh, God, I hope not.
That would be if we didn't check. Oh, man. So it turns out the difference between a 30-minute 4K episode and a 30-minute, 1080 or 720 episode is about 14 gigs to 2.5. We basically shot Chris Nolan Oppenheimer quality on day number 1, and Aaron has been battling to try to get the episode up. So we hope it's up. If not, you'll see it when you see it. Okay, day 3, SEC here in Nashville. Look at the city, man. Absolutely thriving. Guys, I don't know. Start a game juice. The sun's out, thighs out, sky's
Get
out.
that vitamin D. T-Bob is refuel, baby.
I'm feeling a little honky tonk coming on. We'll see. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you later.